Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you up to date on the Navy security levels, Kern County news, China Lake Mountain Rescue Group, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
I'm Tom Whittick, and here's what's news in Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In news from the Navy, the U.S. military has raised its alert level for bases in North America to the highest level since the 10th anniversary of 9/11 in the face of mounting threats from Islamic State sympathizers on American soil. The move, which officials said is not based on a specific threat, was informed by recent events. A spokesman for U.S. Northern Command. The level known as Bravo is the third of 5 levels of alert and means increased security at military posts across the country. A day earlier, FBI Director James Comey offered blunt remarks about the domestic threat from ISIS sympathizers, saying hundreds and possibly thousands of people in America are following ISIS on social media and consuming their poison. A Defense Department statement described the elevated alert as a prudent measure to help mitigate threats. The U.S. NORTHCOM commander raised the baseline force protection condition as a prudent measure to remind installation commanders at all levels within the U.S. NORTHCOM area of responsibility to ensure increased vigilance and safeguarding of all DoD personnel, installations, and facilities. The statement said, this change, in addition to random drills or exercises, is a mean to ensure that we effectively execute our force protection mission. Employees at China Lake can expect to see some moderate changes from this order. In Kern County news, this is a reminder about the Kern County Board of Supervisors special board meeting coming here this Wednesday. The meeting will be to brief the public on the final version of the staff recommendation on the Indian Wells Valley Land Management Plan. The purpose of the plan is to try and slow down the water overdraft problem we have in the valley. We expect there will be substantial public input about the plan. There are staunch supporters of the plan, while there are some that do not agree with the plan at all. Whether you know it or not, if this passes, almost everyone in the valley will be affected, some more than others. But the impact could be felt by all. So if you want to learn the details of the plan or want to make comment, make sure you put this meeting on your calendar. The meeting will be Wednesday, May 13th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the Ridgecrest City Council chambers at City Hall. Again, take special note, the meeting is in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, not in the evening. In news from Governor Brown's office, he issues the following press release. Building on the state's efforts to help expand international business opportunities for California companies, last Friday, Governor Brown appointed 13 members to the California International Trade and Investment Advisory Council, including Vice Chair Maria Escovesti, Policy and Program Development Director at the University of California, and Berkeley School of Law Chief Justice Earl Warren's Institute on Law and Social Policy. Brown said, I am honored to have Maria Escovesti join me as Vice Chair of this critically important council. This dynamic group of individuals brings a wealth of experience in international affairs and business development, and we are ready to help the governor and GoBiz continue to strengthen California's position in the global economy, said former U.S. Ambassador to Hungary, Ellen Kounalakis, who was appointed chair of the council in 2014. The California International Trade and Investment Advisory Council advises the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, GoBiz, on strategies to expand international trade and investment for California businesses and assist GoBiz in identifying foreign markets with the greatest potential for export expansion. The Council also aids GoBiz in developing specific export strategies for those markets, including the state's top trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, and emerging markets such as Brazil and India, as well as strategies to attract more job-creating foreign direct investment into the state. The Council will hold its first meeting next month in Sacramento. Today's appointments build on Governor Brown's action to boost international trade, including the 2013 Trade and Investment Mission to China, the opening of the California-China Office of Trade and Investment in Shanghai, a trade meeting with China's President Xi Jinping in California, and the 2014 Trade and Investment Mission to Mexico, where the governor was joined by a delegation including approximately 90 business, economic development, investment, and policy leaders from throughout California. California recently surpassed Brazil to become the 7th largest economy in the world. The state registered a record number of exports in 2014, with businesses exporting over $174 billion in goods, 3.6% higher than the previous year. Foreign-controlled companies employ over 590,000 California workers, and foreign investment in the state is responsible for 4.9% of the state's total private industry employment. Now from Jean Fuller's office in Sacramento, Jean filed this story. Here's her comments. In April, at the second annual Red, White, and Blue Gala, I had the honor of meeting former Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell. The event raised funds for the Tragedy Assistance Program for survivors, called TAPS. TAPS is an organization that offers compassionate care to all those grieving the death of a loved one, serving in our armed forces. The founder, Bonnie Carroll, spoke about the death of her husband, Brigadier General Tom Carroll, while serving our country. His death prompted her to create this organization that aids military families as they begin to cope with the loss of their loved ones. The entire event was increasingly touching, including the words from the featured speaker, Marcus Luttrell. He received the Navy Cross and the Purple Heart for his bravery in action while facing the Taliban in 2005. His best-selling book, Lone Survivor, later became a blockbuster hit movie. To hear his story in person was both shocking and moving. Thank God for people like him who have so bravely served and continue to serve our country, said Jean Fuller. If you are suffering the loss of a military loved one, or if you know someone who can use the support of TAPS, please call their toll-free help and information line now, 1-800-959-TAPS, or visit their website, www.taps.org. While we usually don't report on crime over in Bakersfield and the Valley, this particular one had some strange details. The Kern County Sheriff's Office provided the following information. On Saturday, May 9, 2015, at about 11:15 a.m. in the Lamont area, deputies responded to a report of a human remains being found near a vineyard about 2 miles west of Interstate 5, south of Copus Road. The remains, which were in advanced stages of decomposition, were discovered by a passerby. The remains were stuffed inside a metal 55-gallon drum. Parts of the remains had been extracted by apparent scavenger activity. Sheriff's homicide detectives responded and conducted an investigation. The identity, age, race, and sex of the victim is unknown. The cause of death is pending an autopsy. The Sheriff's Department is asking for everyone to help solve this discovery. Anyone having information on this incident is asking to contact the Kern County Sheriff's Department at 661-861-3110 or contact Secret Witness at 661-322-4040. Anonymous text tips can be sent to tip 411. Just type the word KCSO prior to the message. Recently, the China Lake Mountain Rescue Volunteer Group assisted in finding a lost hiker in Round Valley in Riverside County. According to reports, Alfonso Nguyen of Garden Grove reported himself lost via his cell phone. He was hiking with friends when he lost sight of them and got lost. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department provided GPS coordinates to the China Lake group. They searched through very rugged terrain and finally located him in good condition. Thanks to the China Lake Mountain Rescue Group for a job well done. They are an all-volunteer group based here in Ridgecrest to support the Ridgecrest Police Department and the Kern County Sheriff's Department. They also provide support to Inyo and Monu counties as well when called. The Sierra Sands School District has made a very important announcement. Burroughs High School and Murray Middle School have both won gold ribbon status. The two local schools are two of only 6 county schools earning the designation. Teachers and students celebrated the tremendous gains in implementing academic content and performance. The State Superintendent of California Schools made the announcement. The standards were based on performance in the following study fields: English Language Arts, Mathematics, California English Standards, and Next Generation Science Standards. Our congratulations to these schools for a job well done. Stay tuned for news out of China Lake when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now in news from the China Lake Museum Foundation, they're announcing their annual fundraiser dinner to be held Saturday, May 30th at 5 p.m. at the Kerr-McGee Center. This is the organization that funds operations on the U.S. Naval Museum of Armament and Technology on China Lake. But the foundation is now announcing that they now have plans to move the museum off base into the city. Lately, access to the museum is increasingly difficult due to security measures on the base. This has impacted people's access to the museum for years. They are reporting that they have an agreement with Ridgecrest Regional Hospital for the hospital to buy the office building across the street from the hospital. This is a brand new building that has been vacant for many years. In an agreement between the hospital and the museum, they have agreed to lease the building from the hospital for 5 years. This will allow them to finally establish the museum in the city, where access will improve greatly. If you've never seen this museum, you're really missing a great asset. When it moves into the city, make sure you visit. Also, plan on attending their fundraiser Saturday, May 30th. Here's some warnings from the Kern County Fire Department. While this announcement is directed at the folks in mountainous areas facing wilderness and wildfires, many of these precautions apply to us desert dwellers that deal with earthquake preparedness as well. Some Kern County residents choose to live in woodland settings, which includes in or near forest, rural areas, or remote mountain sites. These residents are blessed with the natural beauty that comes with living in such a setting. Unfortunately, they are also faced with real dangers of wildfire. Wildfires affect Kern County residents and others across the country every year, especially during wildfire season. The homes that are fortunate enough to survive usually do so because their owners are prepared for a large-scale wildfire. To sum it up, if it's predictable, it's preventable. Wildfires often begin unnoticed and spread quickly, igniting brush, trees, and homes. Homeowners can reduce the risk by preparing now, before a wildfire strikes. The first step is to meet with your family and create a family disaster plan. Your family disaster plan should outline what to do and where to go if a wildfire or emergency threatens your area. Once your family has a plan, follow the steps listed below to provide optimal protection for your family, home, and property. Practice wildfire safety. Get involved with your neighbors and create a plan. Build an emergency supply kit. Perform hazard reduction and create a 100-foot safety zone around your home. Create a family disaster plan to include locations to go to and meet, and communication plans, and what to do when there is no communications working. For more information on wildfire awareness and how to be prepared, visit www.kerncountyfire.org. In Ridgecrest Police Department news, once again, they want to remind drivers on North China Lake Boulevard that the speed limit on the whole stretch of the road is still 25 miles an hour. From Ridgecrest Boulevard to Indian Kern Road and the base front gate, the speed limit is 25 miles per hour. The police department is enforcing the speed limit. The fine in a construction zone is double from a non-construction zone. It's been reported to KZGN that the fine is almost $400. So slow down. It's the right thing to do. It helps make it safe for the construction workers and prevents accidents. Now, in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's local gas prices for your information. Well, since last Friday, prices locally and abroad have stayed pretty steady with no major drops or jumps. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $3.45 to $3.79, Lancaster from $3.55 to $3.99, LA Valley area $3.59 to $3.87, and the Bishop area $3.48 to $3.57. We have 3 stations coming in at the $3.45 figure. The cheapest price in the Lancaster area remains more than Ridgecrest. All other areas we monitor are more than Ridgecrest as well. Way to go, Ridgecrest gas stations. Tune in with us 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally and fill up here to support your local economy. Remember, when you're paying sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for sports and weather when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. Regionally, the National Weather Service is forecasting a risk of severe thunderstorms from southern Texas across the lower Mississippi, Tennessee, and Ohio valleys and into the southern Great Lakes. The main threats will be damaging wind, large hail, with a couple of tornadoes possible across the southern Great Lakes. Temperatures across the nation, Massachusetts was at 62, Ohio 83, Georgia 86, Florida 89. The central states were in the upper 40s to mid-50s, and the West Coast was in the 50s to 60s today. But for us locally in our forecast, we have more rain possible later in this week, but for now we have some windy conditions from tonight all the way through to Thursday. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 59, breezy with a south-southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Tuesday will be sunny with a high near 83, breezy with a southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with wind gusts as high as 25. Tuesday night will be mostly clear with a low around 55, breezy with a southwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with wind gusts as high as 30. Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 81, south-southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. And on Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 56, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, things cool off a little bit with a coming storm, possibly. It will be mostly sunny with a high near 76, with a light southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is a look at your local forecast, and back to Tom with the rest of your KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Now let's go to Tom Heck for the sports.
And a very pleasant Monday afternoon to everybody. Let's start with some local sports. 5th grade basketball. Boy, they had a great Friday and Saturday up at Saracosa. A lot of exciting games. The boys' championship. Richmond defeated Las Flores 23-21. That game went down to the wire. And the girls' game went down to the last 2 free throws of the game. Fowler over St. Anne's 13-12. Probably the most thrilling game of the whole 2-day event was Friday night. It was a boys' game. Gateway defeated Charter in double overtime, 2 overtimes by 1 point as the lead went back and forth and the crowd really getting into it. Kids had a lot of fun, and I think the parents did also. All right, Burroughs High Baseball. They'll play Sultana twice this week. They're in competition for the playoffs. If they win both games, they'll probably finish second in the Mojave River League and could get a home playoff position. Softball, same scenario. They have 2 games this week with Sultana. They right now have a very good chance to get in the playoffs. Michelle Lazaro's club playing very good as of late, and it'll be a very interesting week. The playoffs will begin next week for both baseball and softball in the CIF Southern section. All right, LeBron James hit a shot at the buzzer on Sunday to give the Cavaliers an 86-84 come-from-behind victory. They pretty much trailed the whole game in what was really not a very pretty contest. Both teams struggled from the field. The Cavaliers now have tied the series at 2. It'll go back to Cleveland. That'll be on Tuesday night. All right, Memphis, and I'm not surprised on this. They beat Golden State again. They now lead the series 2-1. They will have Game 4 tonight. That will be in Memphis. Now remember, Golden State had the best record in the NBA this year. Well, the team that had the second best record, not doing much better either right now. The Hawks, down by 20 in the fourth quarter against Washington, made a great comeback. They outscored Washington by 18 points in the fourth quarter on Saturday, but they still came up 2 points short. They actually tied the game, and then the veteran Paul Pierce hit a jump shot at the buzzer, and that gives Washington, without John Paul, a 2-1 lead in their best-of-7 series. Game 4 is tonight at Washington. All right, a couple names in the news. Johnny Manziel, who came back from 8 weeks of rehab of some unknown nature, was complimented by the management of the Cleveland Browns for his great performance so far, attitude and ability-wise, at spring training camp. So maybe Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner, might pan out after all in the NFL. We'll have to wait and see. Tiger Woods had a rough weekend, didn't do very well at the Players Open. And also Josh Hamilton, a former Angel, now a Ranger, is going to return to AAA baseball. Round Rock, the AAA team of the Rangers, who now have the rights for Josh Hamilton. He'll be there for a few weeks and then come up to the big club. The Rangers right now playing a little bit better baseball. They may be the second best team in the American League West. The Angels would be the number 1 team. Although, yes, Houston is leading right now in the West, but that's just not going to last very much longer. All right, Seattle and Oakland. Oakland now 12-21. Seattle beat Oakland 2 of 3 games in Seattle this past weekend. It was Arizona winning. San Francisco beat Miami 3-2. Milwaukee And the Cubs. Milwaukee won 2 of 3 games. I bring that up because that's the first time all season they've won a series. The Mets, 20-11. They win again. They beat the Phillies. Washington wins all 3 against Atlanta this weekend. Cleveland over Minnesota. The Twins been playing well, but Cleveland got them on Sunday 8-2. Texas over Tampa Bay 2-1. And the Yankees off to a very good start. The Yankees now 5 games over 500. They beat Baltimore yesterday in New York 6-2. Folks, that's your sports for this Monday afternoon. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. And Stain was celebrating Mother's Day yesterday. Stay with us for a short clip of a mother dog rescuing her puppy from a swimming pool. This is one smart mama dog.